Welcome to Where Talent Meets Opportunity, a business show that provides our viewers with business strategies, tips, and information for starting, running, maintaining, and growing any small business. We have a great show planned for you today.
I think Victor is going to take the slides. Okay. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for allowing us to present this morning. My name is Glenn Rubin. I'm the managing partner at Rubin, Lublin. We are a full-service law firm, just like most on the panel today. We do foreclosure, bankruptcy, eviction, title curative, complex litigation, REO, compliance. We even do retail and commercial closings, and we do some commercial leasing work as well. You can see our states highlighted there. We're primarily in the southeastern United States. All of our states are non-judicial foreclosure states. They have that in common. We were founded in 2009, so we're a little over 10 years old. But my partner, Peter Lublin, and I, we come from one of the biggest firms in the country that does this work. We were both partners there, and we each have almost 30 years experience in this particular industry. The firm is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, no objection in all 4 of our states, so we're approved by them. We also do quite a bit of government work. We do HUD and VA, probably make up almost 2/3 of the loans that we handle. We just got real good at doing HUD loans. When we first started, that was, we were getting a lot of that from many of us servicer clients. So we are AV rated, Martindale-Hubbell. We've got pre-COVID, we were about 120, made up of 30 attorneys and 90 staff. Since COVID, we reduced some by about 30 to 35%. So we're currently about 80 folks. We have offices. Our main office is here in Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. But we also have an office in downtown Memphis. We're on the square in Oxford, Mississippi, and we have a nice office in Huntsville, Alabama. We are very prominent. A lot of our attorneys are speakers and authors in a lot of industry publications and at industry conferences. We're members of the USFN, the National MBA, local MBAs. We're members of ALFN, the American Bankruptcy Institute, the National Association Chapter 13 trustees, as well as some industry groups, the Default Attorney Group and Attorney Financial Services Group that are primarily networking groups within our industry. As far as hallmarks of our firm, I think our slogan of personalized service and professional results is really our hallmark. We definitely take an old school approach where attorneys are managing staff, not the reverse, which you might see at a lot of the higher volume firms. We have attorneys that are touching files at more key points during the case. And we feel like that gives us an advantage. We feel like we catch and fix more issues for you before the properties end up in REO when you first discover that. That can be very costly. We also can handle those non-routine files just as well as we handle the routine ones. We are accessible. You can always pick up the phone and speak to an attorney. We have a lot of attorneys for a firm that does non-judicial work. Probably 2 to 3 times what some of our competing firms have. So you can always reach an attorney. Our staff will get back to you within 24 hours. We pride ourselves on the personalized service. Another big area in our firm is that we will mitigate your losses and mitigate your risk. We're going to keep you out of the newspapers because that's where you want to be. We will bring things to your attention. We're not going to take chances. We're always going to run things by you before we get you into trouble. We have an excellent litigation group. We've got big firm expertise there without the big firm price tag. Peter Lublin runs that group with about 6 or 7 other attorneys. Very, very adept at coming up with the most expedient and efficient way to get that loan. Typically, we want to get that loan out of the litigated state and back into the normal servicing pool or foreclosure pool. So an excellent group there. As far as technology and other aspects, I'm going to let Victor kind of run with that.
Thank you, Glenn. Good morning. Thank you for having us. My name is Victor Kang. I'm the foreclosure partner at Rubin Lublin. I've been with the firm since its inception 11 years ago, and I'm licensed in all 4 of our states. And I've always had a focus on using technology to help keep costs down for our clients and to provide the best work product for the clients. We are a technology-focused firm. As you can see on the slide, we work with the largest banks in the country. So our data integrity and our security is up to par with what they require for their vendors and their branches. So for a lot of the technology piece, we use Microsoft to have different servers that create redundancies. We also, they replicate our applications so that in case there's any sort of outage, we can continue to work remotely. We use all the high-end encryption services to ensure that your data and the customer's data are protected. We are technology focused, and our 4 states, as Glenn mentioned, of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and Tennessee, they're all non-judicial foreclosure states. So what that means is they have the fastest timelines in the country. If there are no external delays, we can take a property to sale in about 45 days. So we're geared to leverage technology to service our clients and to move their files. We've invested heavily with our own in-house management team, where we have an IT director, we have a case-aware director. They both oversee technology to ensure that we stay on the forefront. We utilize multiple external vendors too to assist us with software backup, server maintenance, integration with our client management systems, and additional services to make sure that we continue to stay current with new technology advances. Due to our 4 states, we have a lot of different jurisdictional requirements. So we leverage our caseware management system to be able to seamlessly tell staff how to hold a foreclosure properly without having to remember every single rule off the top of their head. We have a diverse client base. We're able to satisfy all their different requirements using our technology. Our setup of files will determine that from the get-go, if it's a FHA or VA file, certain steps, certain procedures, certain templates are generated so that we comply with their stringent timelines and guidelines. Same with Fannie, Freddie, and their rules. We have all these rules set up through our in-house team to where certain documents are generated, certain timelines are escalated depending on the investor. And even with private investors, we have different rules so that we don't hold you to the same guidelines that HUD and VA would, because we don't want to create the delays that may not, and create delays that may not apply to you. For example, title standards. So we have it set up in our case management system to where certain standards, certain rules, certain guidelines, invoicing management, all of those are based on client guidelines so that you don't get treated like any other client. Our system also integrates with case management systems like BKFS, Tempo, and Vendorscape. With our case-aware system, we're able to board new clients seamlessly and train efficiently because our system will be created to match parameters and templates based on what the client requires and what the jurisdiction requires. We've been able to push caseware updates, and we've been told actually by caseware developers that our system is one of the most robust and advanced in terms of integration, automation, reports, and other aspects that we've spent internally capital to build that up. All of our attorneys and staff are actually trained to use CaseAware. So if you do call an attorney, they will know how to look into BKFS or look into Tempo to tell you an update versus saying, I have to get a paralegal. They should be able to know and look it up themselves. And using technology, one of the things we've been able to do as well is to build out on our website property listings. As you can see, we have here listed the Tennessee property listings. We have it for all 4 of our states. They link in real time with our case management system so that when a client tells us to cancel a sale, it will fall off our website so that investors will be able to know in real time whether or not the sale is still pending. As you can see on the website as well, we list opening bids if they're available, and we also list websites for the third-party auction companies that will list bids and more information about the sales. Using our technology, this way we can have the best efforts to help you sell the property. We also work in conjunction with our vendors so that we can get real-time data from sale results so that there are no challenges to your sales. We utilize a program where the notices are read on a tablet, which will record their location and the timing of when they held the sales, so that in case there's any challenges to the sales, we'll be able to show using GPS where you were standing or where our vendor was standing when they held the sale, the time of how long it took to hold the sale, and they get signatures and accept funds at that time so that you get a full tracking of your sale in case there's any challenges. And further, we also allow you to request and provide reinstatement to payoffs through our website so that in case borrowers are interested in reinstating their loan or paying off the loan, they can request it automatically any time of the day. Lastly, prior to the COVID pandemic, our firm had actually started the process of allowing for remote access and work from home protocols. Due to that, lucky foresight, we've been able to manage the COVID and pandemic with little impact on our workflow process. Our staff is able to access all our servers through secure VPNs. They're able to get phone calls to their personal phone or computers through their office extensions. And all staff and attorneys have been trained to utilize Microsoft Teams, GoToConnect, and GoToMeeting, and Zoom to stay in contact with each other and our clients. In fact, we've been able to do team building events, trainings, and even going through a client audit all remotely without having to risk the health and safety of our staff and clients. We are paperless as we're all non-judicial, so we've been able to have limited staff have to go into the office and follow local guidelines. So when you choose to work with us, you'll receive the benefit of all of our technology and efficiency. And that's all we have. So if we have any questions.
There is one question. Whoops, looks like it's echoing. There is one question. There's one firm, well, one client that we have that has just over 2,000 cases that need to be looked at here in Mississippi. And so they're looking to find out how many cases can you take on monthly in order for us to be able to get that workload reduced from a foreclosure perspective.
Victor, go ahead, since you manage that group.
So right now, we are staffed to handle probably up to 250 to 300 files a month. But the way we're set up, we can actually ramp up in the stage process to get up to about 1,000 a month once we have, like a 30 and 60 and 90 day kind of ramp up process. And depending on what the workload is, if it's just to review files for title and to schedule sales, there's different processes on that. So we would be able to provide initially like a quick review for onboarding of a file. I know that some investors will have a large population of files that they want to ensure that they should purchase or that they should not have them be bought back due to outstanding title issues or tax sales or other things like that. We've done large population reviews like that. So those would be quicker and we can do more of those if that's just the case. But to set the files, I would say probably we can push out 250 to 300 foreclosures a month for Mississippi. And, we can ship resources from other states as well. So that's also an option if we were to be fortunate enough to receive the entire portfolio.
Okay, I've got smiley faces over here. So from what I can see right now, I think they're going to ask for, hold on one second. Yeah, they're going to want an action plan as to how you would be able to do those 2,000.
Okay.
So I'll work with you in order to get that over to them.
Okay,
Excellent.
that's great.
That's
Okay.
great. We'd be happy to.
Okay.